Hello everybody, this is Hollywood Joe with Hollywood's World of Sports, letting you know the Super Bowl has been decided. And the Super Bowl this year that's taking place in New Orleans will be the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. And what a great Super Bowl this is going to be. Super Bowl 47. You're going to have brother versus brother. You're going to have Ray Lewis's last game. You're going to have a quarterback in Colin Kaepernick, who's only started 10 games in his professional career. You know, there's so many storylines to this game, and, you know, I'm proud to say that in my football pool, the personal football pool I'm in, I predicted the 49ers to make the Super Bowl, so I'm pretty happy with my prediction because I had to make that prediction way back in the month of early September. So I just, you know, I haven't been excited about a Super Bowl in a long time because the same teams of the Giants and Patriots and Steelers and teams like that I really can't stand. We're always going, and now you got a good matchup. You got a team on the West Coast and the team on the East Coast, and to me that is always a good thing for the Super Bowl because now you got, you know, two different coasts that are interested in what's going on. Because I can honestly tell you, even though the last couple of years it's been all East Coast teams, I'm sure people on the West Coast still watch the Super Bowl, but they probably haven't been excited for it. Now the West Coast has something to be excited for. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, Ray Lewis, making a huge deal about the Ray Lewis thing, and I totally get that. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Ray Lewis's career and what he's done on the field. But a lot of people are forgetting about another success story. Michael Orr, who also plays for the Baltimore Ravens, had his life portrayed in a movie called The Blind Side a couple years back. And hey, there's another movie idea here, folks. The Blind Side, you know, part 2 or to be continued, or you know, road, you know, I don't know, something. But that's besides the point. Both teams are dynamic in so many ways. Both teams have a lot of personalities on both sides of the ball. You know, it just kind of reminds me of the 49ers. This really reminds me of the first year Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, because you had Drew Bledsoe, who was the quarterback for the majority of that year, and got injured late in the season. And Tom Brady stepped in and helped the team win the Super Bowl. Well, you know, you have Alex Smith, who was the original starting quarterback this year, and he got injured. And Colin Kaepernick stepped in, and he's led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And I gotta tell you, he's broken some serious records in these playoffs. He set the single game record for most rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history, whether it be postseason or regular season or even preseason. He has set the record for that, and that's impressive because there have been a lot of great running quarterbacks in the league, like, you know, a Michael Vick and a Cam Newton, and, you know, quarterbacks of that nature. But you know, it's funny when he did that 56-yard run for a touchdown against Green Bay in the divisional round, I was like, yeah, that's all he's good for is running. Well, the next series he winds up throwing a 40-yard touchdown pass, and it was a rocket. So, you know, this guy has all the tools, and I think the Baltimore defense is going to have to prepare a little bit differently for this team. They're definitely not your typical offense. I mean, you got Kaepernick at quarterback, you got Frank Gore, at running back. You got wide receivers like Michael Crabtree and Randy Moss. You got a great tight end, in my opinion, the best tight end in the league, and Vernon Davis. But then, you got that Baltimore defense of Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs, along with their offense. Their offense is no joke either, with Joe Flacco at quarterback and, Ray Rice at running back. And they also got some great offensive pieces like Anquan Bolden. And, hey, you know what? Props to Anquan Bolden. He realized that the Arizona Cardinals were a one-hit wonder a few years ago, and he went from a losing team to a winning team. Props to Bolden. Larry Fitzgerald, if you listen to this, you should think about doing the same thing too. Because the Cardinals, no offense, you ain't going nowhere. Anyways, you also cannot deny the San Francisco 49ers defense either. They have a beast named Patrick Willis, who is just a monster on the defensive side of things. And he, in my opinion, is the heart and soul of the San Francisco 49ers defense. The only thing I foresee being a problem for the 49ers is the secondary. They have gotten burned a few times in these playoffs, but as far as the run game, they can definitely hammer the run game for sure. But if Flacco's thrown deep to Bolden, it's going to be very, very, very hard for the 49ers to keep up with. Now, a lot of people have these conspiracy theories. I sometimes are one of them. A lot of people think that the NFL is setting up for Ray Lewis to win the Super Bowl, his last game. Much like I think it was 06, 05 or 06, I think it was, when Jerome Bettis played in the Super Bowl in his hometown of Detroit and wound up winning the Super Bowl and retiring. He already knew he was going to retire, and a lot of people thought that game was very, very shady because Seattle clearly had the better team that year, but that's neither here nor there. The officials even did admit that they made some mistakes in that game. So that's another story for another day. Do I think the NFL's setting up for the Ravens to win? I don't know. That's one person's opinion. But I do kind of find it funny that during the last regular season game, Roger Goodell came down to Baltimore, and he was hugging Ray Lewis midfield, clear as day. You don't see Roger Goodell doing that with every single player that's going to retire, or is you know what I'm saying. So that kind of in itself is a little bit suspectable, but just people can read into that all they want. I don't believe in that stuff. So, what is my prediction for Super Bowl 47? I have to say that both teams can prove they can come back from a large deficit. Both teams proved it this evening. Both teams have great coaches with a ton of knowledge between both of them. And me being a Michigan resident, really happy to see both Harbaugh brothers having success, being that they're both from Michigan. And my heart is telling me the 49ers, but my mind is telling me the Ravens. So usually when I've been going with my heart, it's been correct. So my prediction, Super Bowl 47, February 3rd, mark it on your date. I'm sure you already got it marked on the calendar. The San Francisco 49ers are going to hold up the Lombardi Trophy, It's going to be a very, very, very competitive and very, very, very close game. So, with that being said, February 3rd, tune into the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Tune in for all the fun, excitement, commercials. Tune in to see two great coaches, two great people nonetheless, because both Harbaugh family's been a great family in football for a long time. So, needless to say, two great coaches, two great teams, one legendary career coming to an end. It's going to be a great, great Super Bowl. San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Ravens. I cannot wait for this Super Bowl. So with that being said, this is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports, your source for all things sports. And remember, controversy doesn't come without criticism. Thank you and have a good night.